Hello friends, welcome you all to my YouTube channel and you are watching Vigyan Shala. Today we are going to read class 7 science chapter 4 heat. Let's start. In chapter 3 fiber to fabric we learned that woolen cloths are made from the animal's fibers. During the winter season we wear woolen cloths because woolen cloths keep us warm and protect to our body from the cold. While in summer we use light colors cotton cloth. This gives us a feeling of coolness. Now you must be curious to know that how do we feel hot or cold. Friends, you must be using many things in your daily life like drinking hot milk, drink tea or eat cold ice cream. When we touch all these things, we feel that they are hot or cold. We feel it through our skin, so we can say that our skin is a sensory organ that allows us to feel touch. A table is given in your textbook which are showing few objects. Some of them are cold and some of them are hot. Mark this object as a hot or cold. We know that ice cream is cold because when we touch it, we feel cold. So right mark is given in cold column. Next is a spoon in a teacup. When we touch it, it feels hot. So we will tick in hot column. Next object is fruit juice. We know it is cold. We will tick in cold column. Next object is handle of a frying pan. When we touch a hot frying pan, its handle also feels a little hot. So we will tick in hot column. Let's us try an experiment. First of all, we will take 3 tubs and label them as A, B, C. Then we put cold water in tub A, hot water in tub B and mix water, that is hot and cold water, in tub C. Now dip your left hand in tub A and right hand in tub B. After keeping the hands in A and B tubs for 2-3 minutes, what are you feeling? Now that your left hand is cold and right hand is hot. Take out both your hands and dip them in tub C. Now what are you feeling? You may feel that your hand which was cold is getting hot and that which was hot is getting cold. By touch we can feel the object is hot or cold, but we cannot confirm that what is its actual temperature. For this we need a thermometer. Have you seen the thermometer? Remember that if you ever had a fever and your parents took you to the doctor, then the doctor must have measured your fever with a thermometer. It is called clinical thermometer. Look at this picture. It is a clinical thermometer which is made up of glass. It has a bulb at the one end. This bulb contains mercury. Outside the bulb, a small shining thread of mercury can be seen. If you do not see the mercury thread, rotate the thermometer a bit till you see it. You will also find a scale on the thermometer. The scale we use is the Celsius scale and indicated by degree Celsius. A clinical thermometer reads temperature from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. India has adopted the Celsius scale and we should read that scale. The other scale with the range 94 to 108 degree is the Fahrenheit scale and it is indicated by the degree Fahrenheit. The normal temperature of human body is 37 degrees Celsius or 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. The clinical thermometer is designed to measure the temperature of human body only. The temperature of human body normally does not go to below 35 degree or above 42 degree Celsius. That is the reason that this thermometer has the range 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. To measuring the temperature of other objects, laboratory thermometer is used. The range of laboratory thermometer is generally from -10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. Let us now learn how this thermometer is used. Let us try an experiment. For this experiment, we will take a beaker and then put the hot water in it. Dip the thermometer in hot water. Wait till the mercury thread becomes steady and note the temperature. Now we will read about the digital thermometer. Nowadays, instead of clinical thermometer, doctors are using digital thermometer because it is easy to use and the reading comes on the screen in the form of digit. And yes, one more thing. In this thermometer, metal is used in place of mercury because mercury is a toxic substance, and if by mistake it enters in our body, causes various diseases. Now we will read about transfer of heat. You might have observed that a frying pan becomes hot when kept on a flame. It is because the heat passes from the flame to utensil. And when the pan is removed from the fire, it slowly cools down. Why does it cool down? The heat is transferred from the pan to the surrounding. So we can say that in all cases the heat flows from the hotter object to colder object. How does heat flows? Let us investigate. For this activity we will take a rod of metal. It may be aluminium or iron. See this picture and fix few small pieces of wax on it. Remember that the pieces of wax should be equal distances. Now you can put one end of the rod in between bricks and heat the other end of the rod through the candle and observe it. What happens? When the heat passes one end to another end of the rod, wax pieces begin to melt. We see that the nearer wax piece begins to melt very fast. It means that heat is transferred from one end to another end of the rod. The process by which heat is transferred from the hotter end to the colder end of an object is known as conduction. Do all substances conduct heat easily? You must have observed that the metallic pan for cooking has a plastic or wooden handle. Can you lift a hot pan by holding it from the handle without getting hurt? Let us try an experiment. In this experiment, we will take a beaker and add the hot water in it and collect few articles like pencil, plastic scale and steel spoon. Dip one end of each of these articles in hot water according to this picture. Wait for some time and touch the article one by one. We find out that pencil and plastic scale do not allow the heat to pass through them easily, so they are poor conductor of heat. It is also known as insulator. While the steel spoon's another end becomes hot, the materials which allow heat to pass through them easily are conductor of the heat. For example, copper, iron, aluminium. We know that the heat is a form of energy. To understand the convection, here we will do one more experiment. For this activity, we will take a round bottom flask and fill it 2/3 with the water. Place it on a tripod and arrange the flask such as a way that you can heat it by placing the candle below. Wait for some time till the water in the flask is still. Place a crystal of potassium permanganate at the bottom of the flask gently using a straw. Now heat the water by placing the candle just below the crystal. Write your observation in your notebook. When water is heated, the water near the flame gets hot. Hot water rises up. The cold water from the side moves down towards the source of heat. This water also gets hot and rises, and water from the side moves down. This process continues till the whole water gets heated. This mode of heat transfer is known as convection. Now we will study that how does the heat travels in air. We know that the air near the heat source gets hot and rises. To learn this phenomenon, we will do an experiment. Look at this picture. Light a candle. Keep one hand above the flame and one hand on the side of the flame. Do your hands feel equally hot? If not, which hand feels hotter and why? Pay attention that towards the top the air gets heated by the convection, therefore the hand above feels hot. On the side, however, there is no convection and the air does not feel as hot as the top. Now we will read about sea breeze and land breeze. The people living in the coastal areas experience an interesting phenomenon. During the day, the land gets heated faster than the water. The air over the land becomes hotter and rises up. The cooler air from the sea rushes in towards the land to take its place. The warm air from the land moves towards the sea to complete the cycle. The air from the sea is called the sea breeze. To receive the cooler sea breeze, the window of the house in coastal areas are made to face the sea. At the night, it is exactly the reverse. The water cools down more slowly than the land, so the cool air from the land moves towards the sea. This is called land breeze. When we come out in the sun, we feel warm. How does the heat from the sun reach us? From the sun, the heat comes to us by radiation. The transfer of heat by radiation does not require any medium. While in conduction and convection, the medium are essential. Now we will read about kinds of clothes we wear in summer and winter. We know that in summer we prefer light colors clothes and in winter we usually use dark color clothes. Why is it so? Let's find out the reason. For this activity we will take two identical tin cans and paint the outer surface of the one black and one of the other white. Then pour equal amount of water in each and leave them in midday sun for about an hour. Now we will measure the temperature of each pot water. We find that both pot have difference in their temperature. Water of the black tin can is warmer than the white can. It means that the dark surface absorbs more heat than the light color surface. Therefore, in winter we use dark color cloths, while in summer we use light color cloths. Now we will read about woolen cloths. How woolen cloth keep us warm in winter. We use woolen cloths in winter because wool is poor conductor of heat. Moreover, there is air trapped in between the woolen fibers. This air prevents the flow of the heat from our body to the cold surrounding, so we feel warm in winter. Dear friends, today we read about the heat, types of thermometer, transfer of heat, conduction, convection, radiation, and sea breeze and land breeze. I hope that you have understood all the concept of this chapter. Now you have to try to solve the question of this chapter are given in the end of your textbook. Now we will meet soon in next video with the solution of these questions. If you are new and do not subscribe this channel, so please subscribe it so that you may get all the notification of this channel and learn more new content of the science subject. Thank you for watching.